I've seen things.
You'd seen more things if you get a haircut. Hi, welcome to ET Connections. I'm Melanie.
I'm Ian.
And today we're going to retell our weekend of contact.
3 nights of it, all in a row.
Yes, it began on September 20th, the night of September 20th. And Ian will start us off.
Oh yeah, let me start that off. It was getting pretty late and the kids are in bed and she needed to go to bed, so I stayed up to do a photography project. I had everything set up and I had my studio lights off to my right. And one thing that I have asked higher beings for is signals to let me know when they would like to communicate or trying to communicate, and that is flickering lights. And it's been pretty common for that to be their tool of use, for me at least, for probably about 2 years now. That night, one of my studio lights turned off, and I thought, oh great, one of the bulbs went out, but then it came back on. And then it went off, and then it came back on. So I'm thinking, oh, okay, I know this signal. So I immediately put my project on hold, went, sat, meditated, and the first thing that came to me was, ET contact, tonight, your bedroom with your wife. And I just dismissed that, thinking it was my own thought. I'm still getting used to telepathic overrides. So after that, I didn't get anything further. The light was staying constantly on. I went back to my photography project, finished about 1 a.m., so I was really tired. Went to bed. She was already asleep. I didn't talk with her about any of it. I just went to sleep.
Well, we woke up at about 3 or 3:30, and for some reason we couldn't get back to sleep, which is very abnormal for us. Usually, it's just easy. This time we couldn't sleep. We were up for almost an hour not sleeping.
Just tossing and turning.
So we would kind of talk here and there. During one of the efforts to fall asleep, I heard a shuffling noise. I thought it might be one of our children coming to get comfort for the night. And the being, who I thought was our children, sat on the bed, at the foot of the bed where the children usually sit, and then they will crawl up and cuddle in bed. They weren't crawling up because I felt the bed dip. It was against my leg, so I felt that pressure, so I knew someone was there. And I was beginning to think, well, maybe the children are sleepwalking. So I grabbed my phone and turned on the light and shined it towards the bottom of the bed, and there was no one there. But the pressure was still there and the presence was still there. So I told Ian.
Yeah, and then I'm like, oh, right. So you were supposed to get contact tonight. Yeah.
Like, thanks.
And I had completely forgotten about it up to that point because I dismissed it as just a thought of my own. Clearly, that's not the case. And so we were pretty excited. It felt like a benevolent presence.
When we realized what was happening, we sent loving thoughts and appreciation for the visit. And then we both decided that we were going to meditate and go to bed. I guess we're at that point of ET contact where they're there and we're like, oh, it's nice, okay, well.
It's cool.
Yeah. And we didn't talk again the rest of the night. We did end up falling asleep, but we did talk in the morning.
Yeah, that was really interesting because she turned over, I turned over, and I remember the way I felt was, okay, now it's going to be easy to fall asleep. I felt like the being wanted me to fall asleep and that there'd be some sort of telepathic download during dream time. I felt that it was very patient with me, and it did feel rather easy, and I just drifted off, but between awake and asleep, that sweet spot, I recall there just being a ton of geometric shapes, which was beautiful, and then I was out.
And so when he was explaining this to me in the morning about his experience, I said, me too. So what had happened for me was the benevolent being, just continued to sit at the foot of the bed, said, you need to go to sleep. And I'm like, okay. And I did sense also that the being would be really patient while that was occurring. This person also did say, You need to get out of your head. So I began breathing through my heart in order for any downloads to occur. And as I was falling asleep, I saw this beautiful butterfly. I couldn't help but notice the beautiful geometry of the wings. It was just all these shapes. It was absolutely beautiful. And then that's the last thing I remember, and I fell asleep. So we were very surprised come morning that we had practically the same experience while falling back to sleep.
Mm-hmm. And ever since then, we've been having these great creative flows just coming through one after the other, and a lot of opportunities that have been arising. It's been wonderful.
Everything starts shifting when you do your inner work. So I had been doing some really big inner work. I was letting go of surrendering to some issues that were causing me discomfort. And it's just amazing that every time you make a progress and you are able to step over fears or step over your own obstacle and get out of your own way, that doors start just opening. They just keep opening, and they may open for you in your financial life, or they may open for you in your social life, or they may open for you in what I would call your universal life with contact.
Or your love life, or relationship
life.
with family. Yeah, exactly.
So your life only expands in all directions, and everything is always benefited so positively and so greatly. You never know what's going to happen, what's going to bloom, what is going to come as you do your inner work. The beings that we have attracted, these benevolent, loving beings, were waiting for us both to get to the same types of levels, or to get to a certain place emotionally where we could really support each other and not be afraid of their contact, where we could really settle into our own self-security of knowing that benevolent beings are absolutely everywhere. And if we are all one, then there's nothing to fear. We're all one, and we all come from the same source. So that kicked off our weekend.
Yeah.
So please stay tuned. We're going to be sharing the next steps of what was happening on our very contact-filled weekend.
Yeah.
Thank you. Please like and subscribe, and we will see you next time.
Thank you.